Okay, so I'm here, I'm at home, and I'm just looking at winches. So the other day when it was raining on the boat, I took all my winches off, so 3 winches. I took them off and I brought the parts home, and I'm gonna clean them and re-lubricate them, ready to go back on the boat. So I've got a load of stuff here. I've got this little container which basically is going to stop me getting oil everywhere, and then I've got all my tools and everything, and a little container here. First thing I'm going to do is put some diesel in the container, like so. That's probably enough of that. And I'm gonna basically throw some of the parts I've got into there already. So I've got a pair of gloves here. I'm gonna put these on. So these are the gloves. I've got a little bit of diesel in me already, but that's okay. It's only a little bit. I've got these gloves on. Took my watch off. Usually I do stuff with my watch on and end up with oil and grease and stuff all over my. So when I took the winches off, I basically put everything in a bag and labelled it as which winch it was. So this is the main. So now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to basically leave it in this bath of oil for diesel for a bit. So here's one of the gear sets, and you can see how dirty it is. And basically from here I can stick it in here. It's not actually that bad, but once we get some once we get some diesel on it, you'll see it start to come really clean. So I'm gonna do that with both these parts, and then also the actual driver there as well. These 2 parts, not so much. Really, you just have to wipe those off and re-oil the face of one of them. The other part that I'm going to get out is the drum itself. And the main reason is in here. You've got to clean out all where the teeth are, but also the bearings here. So usually this just falls out, but it hasn't done in this case. So there you go. There's the bearings. So a set of bearings here, and I'm just gonna put those in there too. You can mark which way they go in, but I'm not 100% convinced that's really that necessary. So here we have it. I'm going to put this to one side as well. It's difficult to actually use this one to submerge it, so I'm not going to submerge it. What I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to put some paper down like so in the box here, and I'm going to use the brush to brush it. So I'm going to dip the brush in here, and then I'm just gonna, you can't see really from there, but I'm just gonna, I think the 360 camera should be able to see, but I'm just gonna see if I can wipe all this off just with, this is a nylon brush, so it's not harsh, Now in my tools here, I have 3 things that I'll use for all of this. And I'll show you what that is. Basically, I have a nylon brush. So this is just nylon bristles. Bought it from Harbour Freight. It cost me for a pack of 3. So you get this one, you get a version that is has got brass teeth or brass brush bristles, and that won't harm the stainless steel, but it is harsher than the plastic. The plastic is nice if the stuff comes off clean, and if it doesn't, you can move to this, and then if it still doesn't, you can selectively use this, which is basically a pick, and selectively use this to scrape out the between the teeth, and which is really where you can't actually get. Now, depending on how long it is since you've last done this job will depend on how difficult it is. I found the first time I did it was really difficult. The last time I did it, which was I think a year or 2 ago, it was very easy. And this should be very easy as well, because I got it off all the first time around. And in fact, I can see already that it's really coming straight off. So just scrub it all out. Use the diesel as a degreaser. Try not to get it all over yourself or all over your cameras. Alright, now I'm going to use some carb cleaner to just spray it off inside here, try and clean it a bit more. And it's just going to go on here to dry off. As we work on the next piece, which is basically this piece here, and this is relatively easy. In fact, I probably just end up wiping this off. Get into this groove and just wipe the dirt out of there as well. Ooh, don't drop it, and wear clothes so you can drop it. Try not to drop it though. But you should be able to. Look for. This one's quite scratched up. Like there's some wear on this, which is, I didn't see that in the last one. This is the main one, my main sheet, and my main halyard go on this. When raising the sail, the main halyard's connected to it. So it does take a lot of load compared with, on my boat the jib's not that big, so the jib winches don't really see that much. But I am going to use the brush a little bit just on the end piece here. So just to clean this up, because right in here, which is also why I stood it up on this particular bit, just to loosen and I'm just going to scratch it a little bit, because the stuff that gets caught in the corners dries. So now we're going to do these roller bearings. They've been soaking already, and usually they're not that bad. Just have to keep. They usually don't have anything stuck to them, these ones. So because they don't have gears, they don't have anywhere for it to go. But you just have to get in there and scrub them. Just get rid of any dirt, any black. You know, some of the grease goes black as it's worn in, a bit of dirt and contamination in there and stuff. You've got to get rid of all of that. So that should be done. We're just going to wipe that off with a clean rag. Now these rags are clean for this batch of stuff, so it might look dirty, but they're actually pretty good. They're dry as well. So there you go. That's one. Get as much of the diesel off as you can, because otherwise what it'll do is it'll start to break down your new grease that comes in, that you put in. So wipe it off. All right, now we're gonna get these. So this is the gear that comes in, and now you'll be able to see that it rotates around and it makes a nice clicking noise. And what we're going to do is going to take this apart. So I'm going to get I'm going to use this rag. I'm going to put it down here because that first one down is a little more. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the pin out. So that's the pin. I'm going to put it back in there, and I'm going to take this piece out and I'm going to put that back in as well. And then I've got this piece with the two pawls. These are called pawls, these pieces here, and they've got springs, so you'd be very careful not to lose the spring, but it's very easy to take it out. If you've got something like this, and I'm just going to wipe it off, make sure it's got no debris on it. I'm just going to put it behind the pawl spring, and then you can basically put it behind the pawl spring and then just lift the whole thing out like so, and then grab the spring, make sure it doesn't spring off, and the spring looks just like this, and yeah, we're going to wipe that off, clean it, and do that, but we'll do it separately. We're going to do the same with the other side. So I'm going to grab the pawl spring with this, and then make sure it doesn't flick off. If you flick it off, you'll lose it, and then you'll be stuck. You have to buy new springs, which there is a service kit from the supplier. So that's this piece complete. And what we're going to do is I'm going to reassemble the pawls into here. Just going to compress the spring and put it in the groove here. So it's hard to see, but it's compressed and just slides in there like so. You have to fiddle with it a little bit, but once it's in, it's like that. So wipe the glove off. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to put some of this stuff back together, and as such I've got a paintbrush and some Lumar grease, gear grease. Now this stuff is really good stuff, and I'm going to start by getting some grease out of here. Oops, that's way too much. And putting it on the brush. And then the gear here, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit on this top surface, and then a bit on the gears themselves. So I'm just going to brush it on, and they say coat the surfaces, but don't over coat them. So I'm just gonna, and now I've got the glove on one hand, and I can basically coat every surface in grease, with the exception of where the pawls are. Most of the time you're going to use grease for this, but there's a couple of times where you're just going to use a drop of oil. So, and this is one of those. So we're just going to put a drop of oil on that one and a drop of oil on that one, and then we're just going to work it in, and just going to work it into the socket like that. Now we're not going to grease that at all. That's how we're going to do that one. So don't overdo it, don't put too much on, but make sure you coat most things, especially surfaces that touch another surface. Alright, so that's that. That's that piece. And while I've got it in my hand, I'm just going to squirt out a bit more of this. Oh, and it goes back in. And I'm going to take the main piece, put that in my hand as well. I'm just going to do the bits that touch. So this surface inside, without going around the face that is where, but we're just going to, around the top here, so around the top here and around that bottom face there, we just want to put some. If you get a little bit on this bit, it's okay, but I usually try and avoid that because the balls are going to act in that location. Now I'm just going to put them together. It's very simple, just go inside and then rotate it around, make sure it goes in one direction but doesn't go in the other direction. And then that is done. Just going to put it there like so. And then the pin. Just going to, again, coat the pin. Throw in grease. And the pin goes in like so. And that I'm going to put in a separate bag. So I'm just going to go and get a bag. What I like to do is I like to put everything in Ziploc bags, and because these are greased, they're going to go in separate Ziploc bags. Right, so I'm just going to put the this piece into the plastic bag. And that's one piece complete. Wiggle those around. Just if they won't go in, just lift them a little.